As if taking notes from Victor, Ghanaian movie maker Juliet Asante brings Africa together in a Pan-African movie, Silver Rain, which stars actors from 5 different countries. Watch this.
Confident to be too loud.
Ghanaian actor Juliet Asante turns an all-rounder in movie making as she steps away from the spotlight to take on a directorial role in a first production, Silver Rain. Set in the slum of Africa, Silver Rain is a Pan-African film which tells the story of love, pain, and the strength of the human spirit. She sits down with entertainment news on Channels Television to share the story behind telling a Pan-African story.
I think the story of Silver Rain is our story, is the African story. First of all, as we try and hope to enter the global market, we need to tell stories that are authentic to Africa. And when you look at Silver Rain, it's interesting, we shot in Ghana and South Africa, but some of the marketplaces we shot in Ghana, we continued in South Africa, and you couldn't tell the difference.
Talk about your life. You can't say good job. You're supposed to be part of them, right?
The film recruits actors from 5 African countries, including Nigerian's Enyina Nwigwe, who played lead character Bruce, a young man from an African background who falls for a street girl.
This way. With every human life in its own, it's a challenge. You know, we all know what we go through, regardless of the color and the facade we paint on the outside. So you see Bruce going through a journey of self-discovery, you know, having to fall off his high horse a few times, having to deal with certain realities he never thought would befall a young man of his status.
Fast-rising actress Urueke stars as the protagonist Leslie, an ambitious woman who is embarrassingly about to lose her love interest to a street girl.
I think maybe the only thing that me and L'Oreal have in common is the fact that we're both go-getters. Like, if we see something that we want, we go after it, you know, but not in terms of men, because I'm traditional, the men come to me, but I'm just saying in terms of maybe career movements, achievements and things, goal orientations, things like that, that we feel that would probably push us in careers or in our career, or would, you know, get us the next deal. I would make that move. I think that's probably about the most that me and I have in common.
You should watch where you're going.
Don't you know him? His family own the Timothy building and other building in the market.
Introduce us to your little friend, son.
They intend to marry me off to the highest bidder.
Asante, a first-time director, also wrote the story. Getting behind the camera was a whole new experience for the former Teen Cell actor, but somehow she was able to find a soft landing for her first job.
I think the cast, first of all, understand that I understand what they're feeling and what they're going through. And I'm able to communicate to them in a way that a director who doesn't have any acting experience cannot empathize with. I am able to enter the actor's head and their emotion. And I think that really shows in this movie in ways that maybe someone who doesn't have that expertise will be able to communicate, and I think it's great.
It was my first time working with a female director, and I'm glad that it's something I'm really proud of, because she held her own, and having read the script and knowing that it was written by the person I was going to direct even made it a lot easier, and I could assess her intellect and everything else that would have been a concern from her writing. You know, so from reading, I knew who I was going to be dealing with, and even though it was different for the director, because she had to be sure, because it was like a short notice for me as an actor to get on set, you know, so we had to have a conversation, and from our normal conversation to understand each other offset, the frequency was great, so we knew we were going to make a great film.
One of the concerns I had, I said, but there's a lot, you've got quite a huge cast in the film. How are you going to manage, especially when you go to the market and you have the market people, you have the kayoyos, as they would call them, the people that slept on the streets and things. So she had quite a big cast, and I was a bit worried for her in terms of budgeting and how she's going to manage. But she said, don't worry about that, we have that figured out. I'm like, okay. And then I read for the character and I was like, okay, interesting, the antagonist in the film. So I was like, sure, why not? And it was in Ghana. That was my second time in Ghana. So it was a pleasure, and I enjoyed going there and being part of the project.
15.
All you trash will be taken off the streets.
Even though Silver Rain comes across as a love story, the Pan-African film serves a bit of politics, addressing some of the big political issues faced in Africa.
Who can you trust when love is the weapon?
You weave your